sees the means of production, and the like and subscribe button. For all the people that claim Soviet communism is just not another form of fascism, why is East Germany for decades under Soviet rule full of Nazis that vote AFD? A little curious. I do think there is an element of truth to that. That East Germans never got to experience democratic society. And the more you experience it, the more used to it you are, the more you expect it. Obviously, there was the Weimar Republic, but most people aren't alive from then. I think that's part of it. However, I really do think that if West Germany had just opened their arms and treated East Germany like real companions, we would not have seen this outcome. I really do believe that. I really do. I really do hold the liberals of the West in great contempt for treating them like a stinky backwater, basically. You know? Agreed, but having a country double in size overnight was a hell of a thing. Yeah, but they saw the writing on the wall. It's not like it was unprepared, you know? Or it's not like they weren't given time to prepare, you know? For years, it was very, very clear that the Soviet Union was not going to be able to maintain itself. It's not like they subsidized the East to the tune of 2 trillion, just saying. So you're saying that they did subsidize the East to the tune of 2 trillion. Okay, well, how much of that investment was meaningful? And how much of it was just capitalizing on the resources and labor that was already present there? Like, what do you mean by 2 trillion subsidizing? Do you mean just like giving money? Do you mean like extent of economic investment? Like, you could say that Great Britain invested enormously in India, but it would have a very different implication, right? Buying industry. See, that's not really investing, is it? If you're just swooping into East Germany and scooping up all of the resources and investing like private equity in everything, like that's not really investing in East Germany in the way where that's investing the way like a corporation does. You know, that's investing in like I expect a return on this investment, not like subsidizing. Yeah. And again, this is what happened in all the Warsaw Pact area. Yeah. Basically what I'm saying is it's always liberals' fault, even when it's not. But this time it is. Google Solidaritas. I can't even. Solidaritatschlag. Solidaritatschlag. Joschlag. I think. Solidarity something, I assume. You wacky Germans. A supplementary levy on income tax and corporation tax in Germany. Originally, in 1991, the levy was limited to 1 year. According to the legislator, various additional burdens, second Gulf War. Support the countries in Central, East, and Southern Europe, and additionally... This did not require approval of the Bundesrat. Why am I looking at this? Why did I take chat's advice? 2 trillion investing in cities, infrastructure, economic subsidies, social system, and research. I think you're bullshitting. Oh yeah, I look one message back in your history. What open arms do you expect? So what exactly would you have done differently with East Germany? Dog, they were like occupied by a militarized foreign power for 50 years. What do you mean, what open arms do you expect? West German moment, literally. Why the f do you think they're voting AFD, dog? Because of people like you. What's like they were, do you think it was their fault? They weren't in a democracy. They were under an authoritarian government. How East Germany was privatized. When it came to turning the GDR's planned economy into a market economy, there was no blueprint to follow, but just the wish to get it done. I feel like they should have been ready for this, you know? It's an honest question from my side. Basically, like, what happened in East Germany is the same thing that happened in a lot of the former Soviet states, where you have like a transition of one economic system to another, a planned economy to a market economy. And rather than facilitate the development of their planned economy into like an equitable private economy, what many Western economists and politicians did was they took advantage of what was effectively a massive surplus of essentially like low-cost labor and resources. Without the Soviets overlooking East Germany, it's basically like free real estate, man. If you're a super wealthy West German company, you can just be like, oh, I can invest like really easily because all of this is fertile land for investment, you know? They can like go in there and scoop up everything. And this happened like everywhere. It was done in Russia by Russian oligarchs, but facilitated and overseen and approved to a large extent by Western economists and political leaders. It happened everywhere. It happened in Poland, it happened in Romania, in Yugoslavia, it happened like all over the place. It was basically like for a brief period of time, it was like the new world, right? Like all of Western Europe fights to colonize the New World. We did that. It's done. America, Brazil, everything's done over there, more or less. What do we do now? What new front do we open? Oh, the Soviet Union's collapsed. Look at all this open territory for investment. I don't have to beef with all these other corporations. I can like get in there. I can get no bid contracts and all this shit, you know? None of this improves the life of the people who live in East Germany. It worsens it. That's why standard of living went down after the crash for a lot of countries. Yes, the Baltics did relatively well, I guess. It really is just a matter of like how much they kind of like broke out under their own, like onto their own, you know? This is how the Union treated the Confederacy? No, I wish the Union treated the Confederacy way worse, actually. I wish that after the Civil War, the Union was like, free real estate, baby, and just scooped it up and ruined just stirred it all up a bit, you know? Confederacy deserved worse. Anyway, sorry. The Truhan Trust was created in the summer of 1990 to take control of previously state-owned East German companies. The number totaled 12,000. Collectively, they employed 4 million people. That's a lot of people. That's the whole damn industry, you know? Oh my God, this is a perfect map. Thank you so much, Menti. Look what colonialism from West Germany to East Germany looks like. Corporate map of Germany. Because after the Soviet Union fell and East Germany opened up, scoop, you don't have all this corporate competition over here in the West. It's just like, hey, who's gonna get it first? Me, yoink. All these former, you know, Soviet industries, it's just like free real estate. It's free real estate, man. More misinformation, Masagoy. West German manager Detlev Karsten Rohweder was appointed chairman of the agency and made no bones about the route down which he planned to take it. His vision was to privatize as much of the GDR economically as was possible and use the proceeds generated to cover the costs incurred along the way. He once stated the whole thing was worth 600 billion Deutschmarks. But his estimate was way off, and by the time Truhan was disassembled 4 years later, it had run up its debt to the tune of 300 billion marks. He did not live to see the project through to the end. He'd only been in office for a few months before he was shot. Oh, okay, there's a whole lot of lore I'm getting in here. Red Army faction, Okay. Economic collapse. The strength of the GDR economy had been gravely overestimated. Monetary and social union put the value of East and West currencies on the same level overnight, though the latter was worth 4 times as much. Wages, 1,000 became wages of 1,000 at the beginning of the end of the GDR economy. Measured against company productivity, it was too much, but measured against prices to unify Germany, it was too little. Products were overpriced and unpopular with consumers, which in turn ultimately led to a vast-scale bankruptcy and company closures. Within a few months, the gross national product in the East had fallen by 1/3. Despite serious efforts to sell companies, the economic situation in East Germany made it impossible to find buyers. The only way the Truhan agency could offload the massive state holding companies that dotted the landscape was to sell them at subsidized prices. Eager to get rid of what it was holding, the Truhan was easy prey for hustlers. Countless small and medium-sized companies fell into the hands of dubious profiteers, and there was talk of a GDR clearance sale. Industrialization. Unemployment raced up to 20%. 1,000 workers from a potash mine that supported the community of Bischofferode. I probably got that way wrong. In the state of Thuringia, been hearing about this, for many decades lost their job in cuts. 3 years later, the remaining 700 were given their marching orders, but rather than follow them, the miners occupied the pits. Some of them went on hunger strikes. Trained or made redundant. Some were even employed to demolish the place they worked for so long. They left anger, end of an era. International business. I wanted more information, actually. I'm kind of wanted a little more info on that. Why does East Germany love Putin so much? Well, for pretty obvious reasons, right? East Germany. A lot of paid misinfo there as well. A lot of East German states were the victims of deindustrialization, similar to the Rust Belt states in the U.S. Yeah. Merger. Every neglected area becomes conservative. It does seem to have, well, neglected areas reject the status quo. And past that point, it's just a matter of like which political, which like precursors they tend to fall, which grooves they fall down into, you know? Yeah, I want to learn more about the economics. Domestic opposition. How bad is the AFD compared to the GOP? The AFD is worse. Example of them going to the left. Basically, every single popular left movement in history has been built off of being upset with the status quo. Vaush, I find it strange you're triggered over Persian mansions. Like, bait needs to be believable, okay? You can't spend 2.5 minutes constructing a statement that is intended to upset me and then open it with saying triggered. What is it, 2016? Ridiculous. You're copying from a template. You're looking at a dusty old textbook. Are your jimmies rustled? Ah, classics. Jimmy's rustled. That brings me back to like Destiny playing Arma? I don't even remember what game it was, man. Holy shit. That was, yeah, it's like 2012. God damn. What's a Jimmy? No one knows. No one knows. It has something to do with a monkey, though. Just a second. What? The door's been moved like 5 times. Oh, the cats might have.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
right, we're back. Oh yeah, we do have the no tears, which is a Destiny reference, actually, I think. I am become meme. Exactly. Words per opposition. I want to learn more about the economics of it, because domestic effects. Vast differences between former East Germany and West Germany in lifestyle, wealth, political beliefs, and other matters remain. Therefore, still common to speak of East and West Germany distinctly. God, failed reunification, huh? The economy of Eastern Germany has struggled since unification, and large subsidies are still transferred from West to East. Economically, Eastern Germany has had a sharp rise of 10% to West Germany's 5%. Western Germany still holds 56% of the GDP. 56 versus 44 isn't that big of a disparity. Part of this disparity lies in the Western labor unions' demands for high-wage pacts in an attempt to prevent low-wage zones. This causes many Germanys from the East to be outpriced in the market, adding to the slump in businesses, compared to underdeveloped Southern Italy. Very complicated. Very complicated. Die Linke won Berlin. I've heard that. Die Linke. The economic reconstruction of former Eastern Germany followed the reunification required large amounts of public funding, which turned some areas into boom regions, although overall unemployment remains higher than the former West. Unemployment was part of a process of deindustrialization starting rapidly after 1990. Causes for this process are disputed in political conflicts up to the present day. Most times, bureaucracy and lack of efficiency in the East German economy are highlighted, and the deindustrialization is seen as the inevitable outcome of the Wende. Many critics from East Germany point out it was a shock therapy style of privatization that did not leave room for East German enterprises to adapt, that alternatives like a slow transition had been possible. It's like an entire goddamn West Virginia. They done put West Virginia east of the Berlin Wall, or not Berlin Wall, sorry, the Red Curtain. Well, also west of the Berlin Wall, I suppose. Yes. Reunification did lead to a large rise in the average standard of living in former East Germany and a stagnation in the West, as $2 trillion in public spending was transferred east between 1990 and 1995. Gross wages in the East rose from 35% to 74% of Western levels, while pensions rose from 40 to 80%. Unemployment reached double the Western as well. The cities just lost market access relative to the other West German cities, not greatly affected by the reunification. Damn, they really mishandled this, huh? They like on every level. It broke the whole damn country. Reestablishing Berlin as the seat of government in Germany. I'm actually shocked that I don't know this. Where was the seat of government in West Germany during the Cold War? I mean, Bonn. Okay, I did not know that. I don't even think I forgot it. I just don't think I knew it at all. Okay. Migration from East Germany to East Berlin. Bonn still has some government agencies there. What a silly name. What a silly people. Yeah, it seems like this was, it seems like the West Germans didn't even handle this that well from an exploitative perspective. Like, a lot of the money that went into the investment in East Germany was in the form of like buying up industry, but they didn't even do it in a way that really benefited West Germany. It's like they took the middle road between like exploitative colonialism for a former part of their country and just being like as magnanimous as possible, right? Like, it kind of like worst of both roads, or like they middle roaded it. Just businessmen profited, as it is always the case. Ain't it always that way? Yeah, they basically drained the tax wealth of the West to exploit the East, you know? I don't want to learn Rocky Balboa. I want to mispronounce it. So what would be the solution now to fix that mess? I'm sorry. I can make prescriptions like that in America a little bit, but that's a really big, complicated question, you know? How to like economically fix the East-West divide. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you have to take money out of corporations. That's like the main way you do things. But it's also more complicated in Europe because America doesn't have to worry as much about wealth flight because we're the center of the world. In Germany, in the EU, like a lot of corporations could pick up and move more easily. There's a more financial transferability in some cases, which means you have to be a little bit more careful about the way in which this would require policy wonkery, basically. Yeah. That being said, how would I have to think? Sell East Germany to Greece. Let me think. Jesus, Kowalski. We need to bring down the text level. We need a new war in Europe. I mean, we got one back in 2022. It's for offline chat, then people can type multiple messages. Trying to think. What possible... Okay, it's easy to say what you could have done back then. What could you do now? What could you do to fix things now? I'd have to think about it. Germany's party leaders answer questions after projected results. Okay. German party leaders answer questions after expected results. I did it. I Googled it from DW News. I wouldn't mind taking a look at this. Fascinating. Oh yeah.
Traditionally discussing with the parties that will form the next parliament in Germany. It's still not certain. We've invited all of them. A very good evening for me as well. Who's going to enter into coalition with whom? Who's going to be in the German lower house of parliament, the Bundestag? That's what we'll be discussing in this show with these guests. And they're all here with us today. The German Chancellor, the incumbent Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, and for the Union.
Okay, one second, sorry. So this is SPD. This is the, these are the ineffectual neoliberals.
Olaf Scholz. And
this is the CDU. This is the neoconservatives, kind of. They're more far right than neoconservatives. This is the, like, I don't know what you'd have. Maybe like Mitt Romney. Nah, maybe worse than Mitt Romney. I don't know.
For the Union bloc, we'd like to welcome Chancellor candidate Friedrich Merz.
Hitler.
And the AFD
Hitler.
Chancellor candidate Alice Weigel. And we have Green Party Chancellor candidate Robert Habeck. We've got the CSU Party leader Markus Söder. And we've got, from the Left Party, Jan van Aken, and the FDP, Christian Lindner. Unfortunately, we haven't got Sarah Wagenknecht from the Sarah Wagenknecht Alliance, but we've got Amira Mohammed.
Yeah, they didn't time the descriptions to their faces. They didn't do it properly, I don't think.
Ali, and we're discuing on the
Names
basis of the projected
last one was
results
the Linke, right?
that we've got here. The FDP and the BSV were at 5% and would have overcome that hurdle, but now both of them are just under
the last one was BSW. I thought they said she didn't. Okay, so they sent a representative. Okay,
5% hurdle, but we're still going to be.
I thought the head of Die Linke was the lady with the tattoos.
Talking with all of the party leaders, and at one point we do have clarity. That is the SPD result. We'd like to begin with you, Mr. Scholz. Serious losses for the Social Democrats. You have already admitted defeat. Clearly, the voters didn't want to give you a second chance after the collapse of the coalition. Was it a mistake to run? No, I don't believe it was a mistake. It was to do with the fact that the voters had to decide about the future of Germany.